What's up, guys? Winter Kills here. Welcome back to a brand new deck profile. I know I'm a little bit late, but we're finally here with our updated Galaxy Photon deck profile. Obviously, post Soul Fusion. You can see we got the new Galaxy Eyes Soul Flare Dragon. Actually picked him up at locals last night, and the Galaxy Trances I needed actually just came in the mail today. So I actually finally have everything built, and I've actually been testing this in a couple matches against some DDD, some Mech 9 Invoke, and the deck has actually been like opening very, very well. I'm surprised with its consistency, how resilient it is, and honestly, I just kind of threw this build together based on the build that I've been testing online for the past couple weeks, and this build is surprising me quite a bit actually, and I'm really happy with it. So, and one thing I want to mention first before we get started is that the sleeves that I'm using on these cards are from Imperium Duelist. These are the parallel sleeves, and these are the illusion dot sleeves, which honestly, these are some of my favorite sleeves to use. Not only do they make the cards look very good, but they're also very durable and on par with any other sleeve I've used in the past from like Hyper Mat, Ultimate Guard, or what have you. Very, very nice quality sleeves, and this mat here is actually their Millennium playmat. It's their newest mat they have on their website. And I've been seeing a lot of people with this playmat lately, and I can fully understand why. This is such a nice mat. It's made on this like King's Robe material. It feels really nice to the touch. Very, very high quality. I've used a lot of mats in my time, like Spellgrounds, rubber mats, regular mats like that. And this is by far one of the nicest mats I think I've ever used. And it's got this really nice Egyptian theme to it, hence the Millennium theme you can see there, the Millennium Eye. Very, very nice mat. So if you guys want to pick up any of this stuff, you can go down to the link in the description to Imperium Duelist. Check out the links there. Head over to the website, and you can get anything for 10% off with that code WinterKills10 off. So without further ado, sponsor rant over. We'll go ahead and get into the deck profile, which I'm sure you're all waiting for. I know, like I said, it's late, but we'll go ahead and get started. We got 3 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. Still a staple in the deck. This is, again, always has and sort of always will be one of the best cards in the deck, just because it's sort of what makes the whole deck run. It's trade and targets. It's a target engraved to bring back with Galaxy Knight. It's the card you want in hand when you have Soul Flare Dragon on the field. Having this underneath your rank 8s, especially number 90, is really good because it also gives the protection, and it counts as a Galaxy and Photon monster, which is just super helpful. So 3 Galaxy Eyes, very, very important. Always has been, like I said. And then we have 3 Galaxy Soldier. This card, I know it's like one of the more expensive cards in the set, for the deck, I should say. Luckily, it's been reprinted at least, but this card, definitely a must-have at 3. This card in combination with this is a rank 8 because you just summon this, pitch this, add Galaxy Knight, normal Knight with this on the board, bring this back, and you have basically a 2-card rank 8 for number 90, which is, number 90 is a very, very powerful card because if you don't end your turn with this in hand, you can just use it to search, or like a True Draco monster does, grab it to your hand, and then you have sort of the ammunition for your Soul Flare Dragon later on. Obviously, this helps make Infinity. It's Link fodder. It's very, very good. Then we have 3 Photon Vanisher. I was playing this card at 2, but I've been playing at 3 pretty much all day today and the weeks prior, and I really like this at 3 because getting Galaxy Eyes to your hand is super important for fueling cards like this, for trade-in. It's very, very good. I love this card more and more, especially if you can combo this with Thrasher and a Vanisher, and then just link them away and just pop off from there. This card is really good. It does have the added effect where it does, if it's an Xyz material, it can banish any monster destroyed by battle with this card. That doesn't come up too often because I don't make rank 4s that often unless my hand is either really good or sort of subpar. Depends on how many resources you have to work with, but I think 3 Vanishers is the way to go. And then, speaking of more new cards, 3 Photon Orbital. This is basically the guy that lets you equip it to any Photon or Galaxy monster you control, and it gains 500 attack, and it also cannot be destroyed by battle, which actually comes up quite a bit because some of your monsters you can already get like really, really big. Some of your Xyz monsters, or even end phase equipping this, or well, main phase 2, like equipping this to a Soul Flare, making it 25 and undestructible by battle. It's really nice sometimes because a lot of times you can protect Soul Flare pretty well, and then the fact that it just can't be run over by anything also helps. But yeah, the best fact about this, obviously, send it to the graveyard, search a Photon or Galaxy monster, which sets up a lot of combos. And a lot of times, if you just have like these 2 cards and you don't have anything else, you can just use your normal summon on Orbital, which I found used to be okay. Summon Vanisher, search Galaxy Eyes, and then from here you can just equip this to Vanisher, send Vanisher, grab Galaxy Soldier, and then summon Galaxy Soldier by pitching that Galaxy Eyes, grabbing Knight, or any other card that you need, and making more plays from there. So that's it for those monsters. Now we'll go into these right here, 3 Photon Thrasher. This card is like a love-hate. This card I like to feel is more useful than it's not useful, for a couple reasons. Because again, having him on the like getting a free Photon monster on the board without having to use your normal summon is so key, especially when you have a card like Vanisher, Orbital, or when you have a card like Knight, which we'll get to in a second. Just because it, like, a lot of these cards require a Photon or Galaxy monster already on the field, so having this free summon at the start of your turn is very, very helpful. And then, like, if you go Thrasher and Vanisher, get your search, and then you can just link these two into Soul Flare or Hyperstar, what have you. So 3 Thrasher, I've been playing this guy since the beginning, and I'm still going to play it. Now we'll go into 2 Knight. This guy, really, really good. If he's normal, you can... If you control a Photon or Galaxy monster, you can normal summon this card without tributing. And when you do, target 1 Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon in your graveyard. If possible, regardless, this card loses 1,000 attack, and if it does, special summon that target, if any, in face-up defense position. Then the attack decrease only lasts till the end of the turn. So during your opponent's turn, they'll have to deal with a 2,800 monster, even if you don't have a Galaxy Eyes engraved to bring back. But like I said, Thrasher, normal summon this, and then you can bring back Galaxy Eyes and go into a rank 8 from there, which is sort of like what this deck does. It just kind of goes into a link 2, rank 8, or rank 5, or 2 rank 8s, and kind of hunkers down the fort turn 1. I like playing this card at 3 before, but I like it at 2 even better, just because it's best when searched off of Galaxy Soldier, because usually you're discarding, in the most optimal hand, you're discarding the Galaxy Eyes off of the Soldier, grabbing this in return, and then normal summoning it with that Soldier already on board to bring back Galaxy Eyes. So I like this set too. It's obviously a trade and target as well. And then this is, again, right here, one of the new cards from Soul Fusion as well. This is Galaxy Brave. I was really hesitant on this card at first, but I really like it. It's a good card to summon off Trance too if you want to. You could summon this off it as well, but this card, basically if it's in your hand, you can remove a Photon monster from your hand and special summon this card, and if you do, its level becomes that level of that Photon monster. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target a Galaxy monster in your graveyard. This card's attack and defense becomes that monster's attack and defense. And you can only use each effects once per turn. This guy comes up quite a bit. Obviously, if you have like a card like Galaxy Eyes in your hand, he is a Photon card too, because he does have Photon in his name. But you can also use it with Thrasher, Vanisher, or Orbital, just to get him on the board, regardless if you're going to use him. If you can come out as a level 8, which is really nice, because it's a expedition target. It helps make rank 8s really easy, especially if you have like this Galaxy Eyes and this in your hand. You can normal summon this, and then there's a rank 8 right there, or a link 2 if you need it. But this card I'm really fond of lately. I think it's pretty good. The other effect doesn't come up that often. It can, I suppose, but especially like if you kind of have like a Galaxy Eyes engraved already and you can get this on board, you can just sort of make him a 3,000, 2,500 monster that can still attack, which is kind of pretty good. He can come out, he can attack when summoned that way, which is really nice because he can be 3,000. He could be 4,000 if you have you know, one of your rank 8s engraved to target. So that's pretty good. I like this card. I think I'm going to start... I'm starting with 2. I don't think I'd go with 3, and I definitely wouldn't play 1 because I think it would just kind of be too hard to see at that point. And now I'm playing 2 Galaxy Wizard. I used to play this card at 3 since like the deck's existence, for me anyways. But like this card, I just use less and less with all this new stuff. It only comes up late game, I feel. Turn 1, this card isn't the greatest. And that's really about it. And also, this card is like spiked up in price. It's like $20 a copy just because it hasn't been reprinted. But I think playing 2, if any, is going to be the way to go for me. And that's it for the monsters. I'm not sure how many monsters it is, but it's quite a bit. Obviously makes up a majority of the deck. But now we'll go into the spells where things get kind of spicy. We got 3 Photon Sanctuary. This card, when open in multiples, depending on what else is in your hand, just kind of like leads to some crazy fields, because this is just a free link too of obviously any of these guys, which is super huge. The faster you can get into the links, the better, because they kind of help establish your board a little bit more. This card's now once per turn. When you play it, obviously it summons 2 Photon tokens, each with 2,000 attack, and they can't be used as synchro or tributed, or they can be tributed. But with the turn you activate this, you can't summon anything but light monsters, which has sort of made me want to not add anything else to this deck, because I don't want this card to ever conflict with anything. I don't want to play any other, attribute monsters. Everything just light, so this card can always be as effective as possible. So play 3 Sanctuary, 3 Trade-in. We have 3 Galaxy Eyes, 3 Brave, or 3 Galaxy Eyes, 2 Brave, 2 Knight. So we have 7 targets for this. So you gotta play Trade-in, because draw power is very important in this deck. I was playing Desires, but I just don't want to play it anymore. I'd rather play more combo pieces in here. 2 Expedition. This card, it's obviously really good when you have the setup. This card can brick super, super hard, though, if you don't obviously have the right stuff, because sometimes it can just like summon out an extra monster that you don't need to do anything with, so it's kind of a waste. So I like playing this card at 2. It is searchable with Wizard. I used to play this card at 3, but like I said, I think it's fine at 2 now, because a lot of the times when you need this card, you'll see it, and when you don't see it. I know that kind of sounds weird, but like, this card can be very helpful, and it can also be very bad, because obviously it's only a hard once per turn. You can't use 2 in a turn. That would be busted if you could, but I think 2 is just fine, because like I said, this coupled with Wizard is very, very good, because it's just a 2 card rank 8. Make this a level 8, and then use this to summon out something else. Or this in combo with Brave, you can make him come out as a level 8. Or if you have Soldier, it's very good. Next 2 cards I'm playing here is 2 Galaxy Zero. It's Premature Burial. This again comes in handy with this, because you can bring back a level 8 and then use Expedition to summon out something else, level 5 or higher. And that's what Expedition does, by the way. If you control level 5 or higher Galaxy or Photon, you can summon a level 5 or higher Galaxy or Photon. But this basically targets a Photon or Galaxy monster in your graveyard, special summon in face-up attack position, and equip it with this card. It cannot attack or activate its effects. If it would be destroyed during the battle phase, you can destroy this card instead. When this card leaves the field, the equipped monster's attack becomes 0, and you can only activate once per turn. So the best thing I like doing with this card is grabbing number 90 or any Photon or Galaxy card out of the grave, and then just using it as overlay fodder for a card like Full Armor or Cipher Blade. That's kind of its best use, or just Link fodder or Expedition target. Then this is another new card here. This is Galaxy Trance. One of my favorite cards in the deck. It does have a slight bit of a restriction that I wish it didn't have, but it does, unfortunately. And that is, you can only special summon Galaxy or Photon monsters the turn you activate it. But what's this card do? Pay 2,000 life points. Target 1 Photon monster in your grave. Special summon both it and 1 Galaxy monster in your deck with the same level, both in defense, and if you do, each monster attack becomes 2,000. Also, their effects are negated. You can only activate 1 a turn, and you cannot normal special summon monsters during the turn you activate this card except Photon or Galaxy. So, the real simple thing to do, obviously, is like, you have, let's say you have these 3 cards in hand. You just have Soldier and Galaxy Eyes. Summon Soldier, discard Galaxy Eyes, go grab Brave or Knight, whatever you want with this card, and then you can just bring this out, summon out this, and then there you go. It's a free rank 8. If you already have like a Link 2 here, it's even better. This card is really good. Like, this card, I think, is, apart from Soul Flare, it's one of the single best cards that this deck got. But I wouldn't play it more than 2, because you do need to have that Photon monster in grave and that Galaxy monster in deck. And like I said, it can be pretty rough if you open this and you have no way to get a Photon monster in your grave that's like desirable. Probably Galaxy Eyes. Like I said, Galaxy Eyes is the most important card in the deck. And having this to be able to target Galaxy Eyes in grave to bring out another level 8 and make a rank 8 from there is pretty important. So the next 2 cards we have are 2 Called By. Hand traps hurt this deck, so you want to have anything to fight that. And setting this with any established board that you have is better than nothing, because you can use it to negate stuff, obviously. This is a secret tech of mine. I'm just trying this out. This card is called Glorious Numbers. And it came out in Battle as a Legend. Basically, if you control no monsters, you can target a number exceeds monster in your graveyard, special summon it, then draw 1 card. Banish this card from your graveyard and attach 1 card from your hand to it as material. You can only use the respective Glorious Numbers once per turn. So, like, if your field does get cleared, because there's some decks that can play through your stuff pretty easily, Mech Knight Invoke being one of those, because they can just sort of keep running off effects even though you have tons of negates. But you can just basically bring back a card like number 90. You can bring back a card like number 62 or 107. You have plenty of targets to get these out of get these engraved and have a target for this. I'm only playing at 1 just because I don't want to open this when the opportunity isn't there to use it. The opportunity isn't there to use it. But this is just a secret attack I'm using. I haven't resolved it yet in a match, so and I've never opened it. I've never drawn this card in the past 5 matches that I played today. Never opened it. Never was able to use it. In theory, I think it's really good, and I'm playing it at 1 right now, so take with that what you will. 1 Rhoda, because seeing Thrasher and Vanisher is important. Reborn, because it's Reborn. And that's it for the spells. Now we'll go into the 2 traps that I'm playing. It's just 2 copies of Tachyon Transmigration, because the only thing that can make your opening board that you usually end with better is just having 2 traps like this set, or 1 trap like this set. Basically, if you control a Galaxy-Eyes monster, negate the activation of your opponent's spell trap card. And monster effects activated before this card in this chain. And if you do, shuffle the negated cards on the field into the deck. If you control a Galaxy-Eyes Tachyon Dragon monster, you can activate this card from your hand. So that doesn't come up a whole lot because I don't always go into number 107, but you can use this card from your hand if you do. If you're worried about back row, you can go into 107 and have this in your hand to negate stuff while keeping this in hand. Like Twin Twister and Heavy Dust Storm, you don't have to worry about because you can just keep this in your hand and a 3K beat stick on your field. It's pretty cool. But this card, it's if you control a Galaxy-Eyes monster, negate the activation of your opponent's spell trap card, and monster effect activated before this card in the chain. And if you shuffle the negated cards on the field. So I'm still not sure if every card, this card can only negate stuff on the field, or if it can negate stuff that activates in the hand. And it only gets shuffled and it's in the field. I'm a little confused with this card, but I still really like it, and I'm still playing it. So you could play cards like Solemn Strike, but I don't like having to pay life points just because the deck can be fragile at points, and I don't know. So that's it for the main deck. We'll go into the extra. Okay, so now we'll go into the extra deck for this deck, and we have to start with 2 Galaxy-Eyes Soulflare Dragon. Honestly, this link is really what this deck needed, in my opinion. It's obviously not the greatest card in the world, but for Photons, it surely is up there with one of the best support cards it's ever gotten. The fact that it can recur a Photon or Galaxy monster when it is summoned is really, really awesome. It takes 2 light monsters to make, including 1 with 2,000 more attack, which is a really easy requirement to meet, especially with a card like Galaxy or a Photon Sanctuary. And the fact that during your opponent's main phase quick effect, you can discard 1 Photon card and 1 Galaxy card, or discard 1 Galaxy-Eyes Photon Dragon, and then target 1 special summon monster your opponent controls, destroy it. So having that disruption is really, really key. The recurability that it gets helps grab back resources. Same thing with number 90, why that card's so good, because it helps search during your opponent's turn, which is always really nice to gain advantage during your opponent's turn. Adding that extra negation, so this card sort of doesn't, or this extra disruption, I should say, so this card doesn't just sit here like a potato, is really, really nice for the deck. So I definitely like this card at 2. I don't think that I'd like to play it at 3 just because the extra deck space is so tight as is. And I still want to play one of these, Hippo, Shinogen, or Hyperstar. 2 lights, it boosts all your lights by 5, helps you go for damage, and obviously when it dies it just recurs a light, which is very, very nice. 2 Photon Lords, generic rank 8, protects itself when it's got a Photon card underneath it, can't be destroyed by card effects. Negates monster effects. And during your opponent's turn, it just, anytime, quick effect, you can just add a Photon or Galaxy card from deck to hand. Either add it to hand or equip it to this card material, so if it doesn't have a Photon card underneath it and you're worried about it getting destroyed by card effect, you can quickly attach any Photon card, spell, or monster and put it underneath this to keep it protected. So 2 number 90, 107, number 62, full armor, Cypher, and Felgrand, and number 38, just some one-ofs. All fantastic rank 8s. Being able to go in, this package right here is super important. And main phase 2 or main phase 1, you can just clear 2 cards with these 2 guys, and 4,000, 3,200 beat sticks. Very, very good cards to have in here, I think. If you're gonna play any of these rank 8s in here, definitely play these 2. If you're gonna play something else other than the ones that I'm playing. Cypher Blade full armor, just very, very good. The Cyber Dragon package, Nova and Infinity, as we do play the Soldier. I was thinking about playing Pleiades, but I don't know what I'd cut. Then 2 rank 4s, Paladynamo and Photon Blast Dragon, because Paladynamo is like a little tech card. I think it can come up quite a bit. Going second into some decks, this card could be pretty nice. And then we have Photon Blast Dragon, one of the better rank 4s this deck has ever gotten. It can protect everything on the field with 2,000 more attack from targeting by your opponent's card effects and destruction by your opponent's card effect. And when it's 60 summon, you can special summon a Photon monster from your hand. And during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you get attach material from this card. Target one of your Galaxy-sized Photon Dragons that is either banished or in your graveyard and special summon it. So it can bring something out during your opponent's turn, which is really nice. And I love the artwork on this card too. Looks good as an ultra rare. So that's it for the extra deck. Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know it was a little bit longer, but I wanted to go into in depth and explain some things. Hope you guys aren't disappointed. Again, if you want some of these sleeves, you can grab them from Imperium Duelist. Same thing with this beautiful playmat here. And yeah, use that code WinterKills10 off if you want to save a little money on your next purchase there. Supports me and helps you guys save a little money in the process. So much appreciated. Hope you guys enjoyed the profile. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Leave a like if you enjoyed. And as always, guys, WinterKills signing out. We'll see you in the next one.